With the second pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Mitchell Trubisky, quarterback, North Carolina.
I, like many Bears fans, when I found out the Bears had traded 4 picks to move up 1 and draft Mitchell Trubisky, quarterback from North Carolina, I was stunned. In this video, I'm not just going to go over Mitchell's pick, but I'm going to go over the entire Bears draft and give them a grade. Now, mind you, this is my opinion. I've seen a little bit of things from other people, but it shouldn't be that biased. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video and stay tuned. Let's get into it. Overall, I would give this selection a grade of a D. I feel the biggest issue with Mitchell is questions. How do we know this guy is going to pan out? You know, he was at North Carolina for, I believe, 3 years and didn't start, and got very limited time until his final year where he would start and do very well. But you didn't really see much of Mitchell, so there's a lot of questions around him. Would you really want to draft a quarterback too who really only started, starting last season? I'd also give this draft pick a D because he has solid tape from what we've seen from what very limited amount we have. But you also have to look at the situation. We just signed Mike Glennon, a quarterback from Tampa Bay, who is very young and still developing. Now the issue with Glennon is I think he started for 2 years out there, maybe a year, and then they went out there and drafted Jameis Winston, so he was sitting behind Winston for all those years. But Glennon's a nice 27, 28-year-old quarterback who's shown some pretty decent tape, and he's still developing. Also, look who was on the board. You have guys like Solomon Thomas, who you could plug in at a defensive end spot of need, and he could come in and wreak havoc. Or you could have even went with Jamal Adams, who's one of the highest rated players in the draft in general at safety, which is also a spot of need. It would have been nice to see, Adams next to Quentin Dempsey, who we just acquired, a really big acquisition. And he could come in and wreak havoc. I mean, this guy is nasty. This guy has Pro Bowler / future Hall of Famer written all over him. So those 2 guys are on the board, and they just decided to pass on him, and they were guys at positions of needs. And not to mention, I feel like the velocity of the team has been defense. So they're passing up on 2 great defensive players who also fit our philosophy in that sense. And like I said, those are guys that very likely will be franchise players at positions of needs. So I'm not a huge fan of that. And also, the draft, in my opinion, had very solid quarterbacks. You had, obviously, Mitchell, you had Deshaun Watson, you had, Mahomes, you had Kaya, and you had Dobbs. I believe Dobbs went in like the 5th round or something to the Steelers, I want to say. So, my thing is they could have waited till the 3rd round, or heck, they could have even traded back to maybe, mid-1st round and gathered a whole bunch of picks and then drafted a quarterback. So, the way that they handled Mitchell, it just didn't really make a lot of sense. There's 4, 5, 6 really solid QBs in the draft that they could have waited on, at least trade it back till mid-1st round to get, not trade up. So, they lost a lot, and I'm not saying Mitch is going to be bad, but I feel like they really didn't gain a lot considering we already have Mike Glennon starting. And like I said in my prior video, I think this could cause collateral damage for future free agents. Look at how they handled Mike Glennon, who was a huge acquisition. They had a quarterback like Trubisky at number 2. Not a huge fan of it. Then in the 2nd round, the Bears would select Adam Shaheen, tight end. Now the thing is with this guy is 6'6", 6'7", 280. This guy on a height level is massive, on a weight level is massive. This dude is massive. And from what I read when he entered college, I believe it was 3 years ago, he weighed about 210. So over the course of maybe 2 or 3 years, this guy has put on like 40, 50 pounds. So what this shows is this guy has a work ethic. To put on that sort of weight in that sort of time, this guy had to be in the gym pumping weights. So this guy must have a good work ethic. He's massive, like I said. He ran a 4.79 40-yard dash, which is actually very good, not just for a guy of his size, but it's better than a lot of guys. I think Gronk ran like a 4.69 or something, so he's right around Gronk. So my thing is his 40 time is above average for a guy of his size of position. But the thing with this guy is he has a very, very quick burst. He gets off the line very quickly. And when you actually watch this guy play, this guy moves very well. Not just for a guy his size, not just for a tight end. This guy can move. So he's massive at, 280, 6'6", 6'7", but this guy can move very well in short distances, as well as move pretty well for a guy his size in the long haul as well. And I'm going to give this a C+ grade. Maybe if he was a starting tight end, I'd give him a bit of a higher, ranking. But he's going to be the second tight end behind Zach Miller, who's been, a top 10, tight end when he's healthy. So he's going to be number 2. And his size and speed combo was absolutely fascinating. This guy is a decent blocker from what I'm reading. This guy needs to improve on his blocking a little bit, but like I said, this guy is 6'6", 670, 280. Someone just pull him aside and teach him some fundamentals and he'll be fine. Another reason why I give it a C+ is he played in Division 2. So what this means is there's lesser competition, smaller guys, not as quick guys. But regardless, no CBs can match up with this guy. Okay, maybe you have CBs that can match up with him on a speed level, but at 280, 6'6", 6'7", whoever's the quarterback will just throw over him. And no linebackers can match up with them either, because linebackers might be typically a little bit bigger than cornerbacks at about 6'2", 6'3", but most linebackers are really slow and can't drop back in coverage. So this guy, regardless of if he's starting or if he's number 2 tight end, regardless of where you put him, he's going to create a lot of mismatches. So like I said, he may have played in Division 2, which is lesser competition, but with that size, with that speed, he's known to actually go out and grab the ball with his hands and not really let it go to his chest. This guy can, just with his size and speed alone, I think he's going to, be a great playmaker, and he's a very fascinating player. Very fascinating, very solid pickup. In the third round, the Bears would add, oh wait, they didn't have a third round pick because they traded it away. So on to the next round. In the fourth round, the Bears would add Eddie Jackson, who was a safety. He is listed at 6 foot 175, and I like his size at 6 foot, but hopefully he hits the gym a little bit, gets up to, maybe 180, 190. But regardless, I think his size is pretty alright. He actually started his college career at cornerback and finished at safety. So what this means is this guy's versatile. I mean, when you have a guy that's, had experience at cornerback and had great success at safety, it adds versatility. Speaking of versatility, this guy is an elite kick returner. I think he averaged 23 yards per game as far as when he was returning kicks, which is a great number. And he's also great at forcing turnovers. I'd give this pick a grade of a C+. The reason is I feel like his value dropped due to injury. I believe he tore something in his leg, and then a year ago he broke his leg. So, he's had 2 pretty big injuries, so, staying healthy is a big concern about him. But, he's healthy now, he's 100% healthy, so hopefully he doesn't get injured again. And he's a needed safety. Like I've said earlier, I like Amos at that safety spot, but he hasn't intercepted a single pass in 2 years. And now the thing is, it isn't okay. Amos is out there a limited amount of time. This guy has been starting for the last 2 years, and Amos is a great tackler, but he's forced, like I said, 0 turnovers in 2 years. And we need someone back there, and I think Jackson, if he can stay healthy, will do it. And I think it's going to cause a lot of competition with Amos. Because like I said, Amos forces no turnovers, but he's a great tackler. While Eddie Jackson, I read he has, a little bit of tackling issues, but he's a great interception type of guy. So it's going to be some competition back there. And when there's competition, people fighting for a starting spot, I think Amos is going to have legitimate, competition. These guys are going to play even better. So, and the thing is he has a ball hawk, similarities similar to Malik Hooker, who was seen as the best safety as far as ball hawking goes, as far as getting interception goes. Malik Hooker, who was seen as the best safety at forcing turnovers, had 7 interceptions, and he returned 3 of those interceptions for touchdowns. Jackson had 9 interceptions and turned 3 of those into touchdowns. So, I'm not saying Jackson is better than Hooker, but, the turnover numbers are up there, so I think this guy could possibly be a steal if he stays healthy. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't think, the question is, does this guy have skill? Can he play, can he ball out? This guy can ball out. It's just a matter of staying healthy. So hopefully he can stay healthy. And if he does, this is going to be a steal in the 4th round. I think, this guy has possibly 2nd round talent from what I've seen. Also in the 4th round, the Bears would add Tarik Cohen. Sorry if I butchered that, running back. Cohen is 5'9", 170. He has elite speed, and the one comparison this guy is drawing is Darren Sproles. Not a bad guy to be compared to. And from what I've seen, this guy is a kick returner. He's an elite pass catcher, and he's a guy who can take starter reps at running back. And this guy is in shape. I mean, this guy is extremely quick. There's videos of him, doing a backflip and catching a football at the same time. I mean, this guy's an absolute athletic freak. So, this will be a guy where he's going to come and probably be, a 3rd-string running back, but he'll be a nice piece on special team. And like I said, he's very versatile, being a kick returner, an elite pass catcher, and can probably run at running back. My guess is his role will be similar to like a Jaquiz Rogers, who we had for about a year. The grade I'd give, once again, a C+. Reason versatile. And, another target for our starting quarterback. And in round 5, the Bears would go out and draft Jordan Morgan, who's a guard. He's 6'3", 310 pounds, so he's a big dude. Big dude. He's got very nice length on him. And from what I read, he has great athleticism, or nice athleticism. And from what I read, he has the footwork of a tackle. And my grade is D+. We already have guys at the left guard / right guard spot. But overall, I think he's going to be an alright player. But here's something I think. I didn't read this anywhere. What if the Bears convert this guy to tackle? Because, Leno, in my opinion, he's one of the worst left tackles in the league. They got this Tom Compton guy in the offseason who I think is 28. And it's just been, a bench tackle his entire career. Is it possible that they move this massive guy with great footwork, great athleticism over to tackle? Who knows? Overall, the Bears draft was very subpar. I don't really know what to take from it, to be quite honest. It's kind of confusing. The only need the Bears addressed in the draft was safety in the 4th round. That was it. Look at everyone else. Every other pick really didn't address anything. I mean, I guess you could say, well, Jordan Morgan, who was their last pick, but he's a guard, and my guess is maybe hypothetically speaking, he can go out to tackle, but that's really not even, a legitimate option as of right now. Not to mention our top pick, which was number 2, was a not needed addition of quarterback, considering we added Mike Lennon, who's a nice quarterback. In my opinion, if the Bears, want to get a quarterback, they should have traded back, gathered picks, if they wanted a QB. Why would they trade up? Like I said, trade back, get some picks. Don't trade up and give up 4. You move up 4 spots, or you move up 1 spot and trade up 4 picks. It's just stupid in my opinion. Another thing is that Shaheen, the tight end we drafted, is very intriguing. His size, his speed, and not to mention his nickname is Baby Gronk. My only issue with him is, you added him, a guy at tight end, at a spot where we're pretty set at with Miller starting, and not to mention we signed a tight end from the Dolphins who's primarily there for blocking. This draft we added 2 guys with Jackson and Cohen who could become big special teams guys. I mean, Jackson, I showed clips of him returning kicks, and Cohen, that dude can absolutely, burn you with his speed. And not to mention, Cohen also has a nickname of Human Joystick. And from the clips I showed you guys, this guy bounces off of guys. You wouldn't expect a guy that's, he's listed as low as 5'6", 170, 180 to just run and bounce off of big dudes, but this guy does. He's nasty. And I feel like, with the addition of Morgan, he added, depth, because Josh Sitton has been banged up. He was banged up last year, same with Kyle Long, so maybe if one of those guys gets banged up, he comes in, but who knows. And overall, I just feel like the Bears, only thing they did was added versatility. That's about it. They really didn't add any big names, just versatility. And grade D+. Am I saying this is a terrible draft? No, but they really didn't add any huge names at needed spots. But who knows? As a Bears fan, it's still in question. I think in the future, I may change my draft grade depending on how Mitchell Trubisky pans out. If Mitch pans out as like a shitty quarterback, I'm going to give this an F plus or maybe an F. If Trubisky pans out really well, I might give this draft a B plus because a guy at quarterback, the most influential position on the field, you can't even argue that. If he pans out, whew, who knows? We might be playoff bound. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for all your support on the other one. This is really cool and stuff like that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't expect to be uploading this frequently. I just felt like I should draft the Bears draft. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and peace out.